faster. That was good. I hear something. Oh, that's the beetle. Here comes the beetle. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. Nice. California is like the dune buggy Volkswagen Beetle capital of the world. So many friggin' Beetles here. That 60s hippie influence just never really left. Just having some fun, having some safe fun, that's it. Tight turn. Look at this shit. That is tight as f***, dude. Wow. Yeah, that's tight. Wow. Damn. That is tight. I didn't think it was this twisty. I'm on my way up to the observatory here in Palomar Mountain. A year before I bought this Panigale, was actually one of the first videos I saw on the 1199 was Jamie Robinson. I don't know if you know him. I think he used to work for RideApart and now is full-time with MotoGeo. For a while there, he was doing some really cool videos, and one of those videos was out here on Palomar Mountain, which is about 45 minutes northeast of San Diego. I met some friends out in the desert in Joshua Tree. I'm staying out there for a little while. Meep meep. Raspberries. Oh, delicious. Score. He's gone. And they invited me out to San Diego, their house for the weekend, and so here I am. And this is pretty twisty. This is a lot like the road to Lick Observatory up in the Bay Area. Super tight, like 180s. It looks like, you know, a bowl of spaghetti. It's a moped road. You know, if you got a moped, you can do just as well on these roads as a super bike, you know, 1200cc super bike. I used to watch these videos. I remember in the winter, it was freezing outside in Boston, and really just loved the concept of just being free out here in these California mountain roads and having a really nice motorcycle. And it just goes to show you the power of intention. But Jamie Robinson is one of my favorite moto journalists, and I think he has the kind of attitude towards life we should all try to aspire to.
This week's episode, I've got Matt Farrah from Tuned on the back. Gonna take him for a ride. He thinks motorcycles are dangerous, stupid, and what's the other thing?
Terrifying.
I mean, here's a guy who's a frickin' Isle of Man TT savage. But you won't find a more upbeat, you know, thoughtful and positive person around, in my opinion. You know, now maybe he's a friggin' prick in real life, you know, intentionally kicking three-legged puppies.
Excuse me, what are you doing?
But in any case, he's what I'd consider to be, you know, one of the lesser known or followed motorcycle personalities on YouTube anyway. You know, a truly inglorious motherfucker. And that brings me to the subject of today's video, which is Inglorious Bastards.
The Bastards.
The Bastards? Never heard of them.
You know, 12 forgotten, underappreciated, you know, underrated motorcycles that are fun, cheap to run and sort of an ill-tempered, scruff of the neck kind of a bike, which means, you know, for the most part, they shouldn't be fucking inline four cylinders.
Das ist doch Soldatentratsch. Kein Mensch glaubt wirklich, dass der Bärenjude ein Golem ist.
Nein, 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 nein! Was alles soll ich von diesen Judenschweinen noch ertragen? Schlachten meine Männer ab wie Fliegen. Kennen Sie schon das neueste Gerücht, das Sie in Ihrem angstgetriebenen Wahn verbreiten? Der meine Männer mit einem Prügel totschlägt, den man Bärenjude nennt, soll ein Golem sein, die nach Belieben erscheinen und verschwinden können.
But if I've learned anything from the last couple of years of touring these twisty California canyon roads, it's that because there's such a short and steep distance between these tight corners, by the time you get that inline four singing in the revs where it's happy, you know, you're on the brakes for the next turn, which doesn't bode well against the torquey SV650s, FC9s, and 1000cc Superhawks that, you know, inhabit these back and forth kind of, you know, California canyon roads. Now I've got a good idea of a dozen or so bikes that will fit the bill. You know, believe it or not, they're not all Italian. Okay, maybe a few are Italian knockoffs, but...
Gli amici della vedetta ammirata da tutti noi, questa gemma propria della nostra cultura, saranno naturalmente accolti sotto la mia protezione per la durata del loro soggiorno.
Grazie.
You know, in any case, I'm going to outline one of these bikes in detail in this video, but to keep it interesting, I'm looking to you guys, or gals, to give me your picks.
My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain, and I'm putting together a special team. And I want my scouts!
So if you own one, or you think you own one, you know, voice your opinion in the comments section. And if you're willing to take it a step further, I'll ask you to post a quick YouTube video describing your bike, including some of the basic stats like price paid, pros and cons, handling and braking, and any maintenance issues you've had during ownership. And I'll download it and include it in the second part of this video. And keep in mind it has to be cheap, which in my opinion means under $4,500. So you have one of your nice shot-cut cinch. You'll take your wiener schnitzel looking fingers and tap on this here video.
I respectfully refuse.
Actually, we're all tickled to hear you say that. Quite frankly, watching Donnie beat Nazis to death is the closest we ever get to going to the movies. Donnie!
Yeah!
Guy's German here wants to die for country. Oblige him.
But hey, let's get on with it, you know? Enough jibber-jabbering. So the first bike I'm going to talk about is the Suzuki TL1000R and S model, aka the Widowmaker. It's a super sport leader bike produced between 1997 and 2001 for the S model and 1998 and 2003 for the R model. The TLR was built to compete, although unsuccessfully, against Ducati's L-Twin 996 and 998.
TL. The number one weekly biker destination in New England.
Twin right there. And also Honda's V-Twin RC51 in World Superbike and AMA.
Good look at the backside of the Yoshimura Suzuki. Jamie Hackman right in the wheel tracks. Curtis Roberts through turn 7. This is right where Matt Mladen lost the front end on the opening lap. Curtis Roberts is on his way to his first
Crossing back inside, can't do it. Oh, they touch, and it's Hayden.
Unbelievable.
And for more info on the RC51, you can check out the Ducati killer video I made featuring my friend Dave's RC. Now both the TLR and TLS are powered by a dual overhead cam, liquid-cooled 996cc 90-degree V-twin.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
You just say bingo.
That uses a combination of timing chain and gears to drive the cam train, resulting in that distinctive gear train engine whir. but the R gets forged pistons and stronger con rods. Both bikes have a buttload of low-end torque, which is perfect for these mountain roads, putting on about 80 foot-pounds at about 7,000 RPM, and pulling right up to the 10,000 RPM red line with 135 horsepower at 9,500 RPM. South Grade Road. Well, we're here. Now keep in mind the S model has 10 less horsepower, but the R model adds significant weight over the S.
May I smoke my pipe as well?
Please go and make yourself at home.
Almost 30 pounds due to chassis stiffening, suspension goodies, bodywork, and the ram air system. A blubbery 510 pounds or so. Now the TLR gets its Widowmaker reputation from its unpredictable handling, which is due to a combination of having a relatively short wheelbase and a lumpy beast of a motor. In an undersprung, overly stiff chassis. It's the same twin spar aluminum chassis borrowed from the more genteel and better balanced Gixxer 750. This results in a bike that has a somewhat light and nervous front end that'll oversteer on slow corners and also tuck the front wheel under hard braking. But on the road, most of it's
Hugo Stieglitz.
Track manners, you know, go unnoticed thanks to its hefty weight and factory installed steering damper. Yield. What do we got here? Where's the observatory? Oh, left. Yeah, that's another thing that's getting tired on the Ducati here. The indicator. This is a fucking insidious indicator button. I don't know if you can see this thing. It's just friggin' floppy as fuck. When you indicate to the left, you really gotta kind of hold it, force it there for a second. As for known issues and reliability, these bikes suffer from stress cracking local to the steering head on the tension side of the chassis just above the radiator mount. And this is due mainly to wheelies, but you can also find galling-induced fatigue cracks near the rear rotary damper hardpoints. These bikes are also known to have fussy electrical systems, so plan on replacing the temperature sensor and make sure you have a strong battery. Replacement parts are limited in availability and mostly specific to the TLs, but many people upgrade these with K5 parts, especially the funky rotary damper at the rear suspension. We got camping. Let's slow down for the campers. As for the motors, they tend to be very solid and reliable, and they've seen continued use in the V-Strom 1000. They typically have 15,000 mile valve service intervals listed in the service manual, but you know, they're often not required. It can go a lot longer. So to summarize the pros, like the RC51s, the overall quality and fit and finish of these bikes are top notch, and I think they're beyond the typical Suzuki. The engines are reliable with, you know, long service intervals. Add to that a very usable amount of low-end grunt that can make wheelies and, you know, lazy shifting a breeze. Looking at the cons, the handling can be unpredictable if not set up and maintained properly. So be sure you've gone through the bike to the best degree possible, which includes, you know, a good set of rubber. The other drawback is that the TLs can be a bit too heavy and wide for track use and can lack the high-end punch required to compete with more modern, you know, 1000cc sport bikes on larger tracks, especially down the straights. As for price, you can pick up a TLR from anywhere between $2,500 and $4,000. And for that level of quality and, you know, bang for the buck, who's complaining? I think they're really great bikes. This is a lot of bike for the money, and puts it right up there at the top of the list as one of the most glorious, inglorious bikes ever made. Oh, that's it? I guess that's it. So what I've done is created a scoring system with 12 categories, 11 of which have a maximum of 3 points each for a total of 33 points, and a separate bang for the buck category which gets an additional maximum 33 points for a total of 66 points. For example, the TL1000 was made for a number of years and a sufficient number of examples exist, so it gets a 3 in the years produced category. But if it was a limited run, you know, it would get a 1. As for the power category, if it puts out a specific horsepower of less than 0.2 horsepower per pound, it gets a 1. More than 0.2, it gets a 2, and more than, I think it's 0.25, it gets a 3. In the case of the TL, I think it was rated at like 0.265 or 0.268, something like that. So it gets a 3. To calculate the bang for the buck, I multiplied the subtotal score times the maximum $4,500 spending limit, and then subtracted a point for every $100 a bike's bang for the buck price is over the actual purchase price. In the case of the TL, its bang for the buck price was, I think it was like $3,900, which is pretty much the market value. So it wasn't penalized; it gets the full 33 points. But in any case, if you want to buy one, you should do it soon, because like the RC51, the prices are really starting to jump on these things. So cast a vote for your bike, and we'll see if we can put it in the next video. And speaking of which, I've had a number of requests for more frequent video uploads. And I do have a whole bunch more videos that I'll be uploading. So make sure you click that subscribe button so I'm not such an inglorious bastard. Here we are. Hey, is that observatory open? It's not? If it's a ransom you're looking for, I can assure you I don't have any money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
WR250R.